Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Hi, how are you all? I hope you're all well this evening or this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you're watching from. Of course, depending on where you're watching from, depends which time of the day it is. It's evening here in Spain. I've literally 15 minutes ago just finished Spanish classes, but I have had a nap earlier on this afternoon, so I'm not too exhausted. Anyway, hope you're all well. Hope you've all had a good day or a good afternoon or a good evening. Okay, so what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about the Madeline Soto case. Now, I haven't spoke about it for a little while because there's not really been any news, has there, much since Stephan Sterns was charged with the murder of this beautiful girl. So let's have a look at Maddie. So this picture is so poignant, isn't it? Because I think this was the day, may have even been the day she died. We don't, because we still don't know yet exactly when Madeline died. But for anybody who doesn't know, Madeline Soto had just turned 13 years old. It was her 13th birthday, and she disappeared. And her stepfather, Sinister Stephan, will only leave his photo up for a minute because it's just horrible to look at, isn't it? He supposedly had taken her to school on the Monday morning. Her birthday party was on the Sunday. He supposedly took her to school on the Monday morning, and she was never seen alive again. And then she was reported missing. There was a few tearful interviews by Stephan and her mother, Jen. So this is them all together, Jen Soto, Maddie and Stephan. Still unclear whether he was actually still living at the home. He called himself her father, her stepfather. Anyway, we don't know all the situation. Some people think Jen knew about sort of what was going on, because what happened then was, as Madeleine disappeared, of course, the police started investigating, looking for her, and they took Stephan Sterns' telephone off him, and the telephone, he said he'd accidentally factory reset it, which of course is impossible. But also he's a bit thick because he didn't realise that the police can still get up anything that's on that phone, whether you factory reset it or not. So they did, and he then was immediately arrested and charged with 60 counts of all sorts of sex crimes against minors, because on his phone they found all sorts of pictures, all sorts of videos. We don't know the full details. We don't know if they were, certainly a lot of them were Madeleine, but we don't know if all of them were Madeleine or not, or whether there were other children on there. And then, of course, the other thing that came out, so he worked at Disney World at some point. So Stephan Sterns, what we've learned is he is a complete man baby. He's like nearly 40 years old. He still acts like a teenager. He probably thinks he is a teenager. Anyway, it turned out he'd been abusing poor Madeleine for many, many years. You know, we don't know exactly since when really yet, but these photos, you know, went back of, 3-4 years more. So what we can assume is that he is a bit of a twonk. Anyway, then he was arrested for that. He was put away. A couple of days later, unfortunately, they found Madeleine's body in woodlands nearby where she lived. Now, Stephan was already arrested, and it took quite a long time for them to charge Stephan with murder, but they have charged him with murder now. So not only these horrible offences, you know, on his phone, but he has been charged with the murder of Madeleine now as well. So the police obviously were taking a little bit of time to get all their information together, get all their evidence sorted. He is now charged with murder. Anyway, there's been very few details come out because obviously it's leading up to the trial. Now, what is happening at the moment, so it looks like we're going to get quite a few details as time goes on. We've had a couple, but we're going to get more and more because it's coming to what they call in America, or it is in the discovery phase, if you like. So the prosecution has to disclose to the defense what evidence they've got, so the evidence knows how to so the defense knows how to deal with that evidence, you know, the case to present against the evidence, and vice versa. So it's coming to that stage. So some things have been released already, and it's these things, we're going to go through them tonight, the things that have been released, and we're going to see what we think, you know, because there's some very interesting things already in there that make you think, what evidence do the police have against Stephan Sterns? Now, obviously, they have the evidence on his phone, which is pretty good evidence. The other thing they have is apparently, but we don't know, again, we don't know the full details, they have CCTV of him driving driving with Madeleine in his car, where the police think that she was actually dead at that time on that Monday morning. And also they have evidence of him putting items of hers in the dumpster, her laptop, you know, things that she would need for school, her rucksack, etc. So it's very, very sad. You know, he was disposing of items. Let's just go back to this picture of her. I just find it's, you know, she looks so carefree on these pictures. I mean, she obviously wasn't carefree because she was, you know, going through God knows all sorts of abuse. But yeah, what happened on that birthday? You know, 13 years old. That's a significant birthday, isn't it? Did she turn around to Stephan Sterns and say, I'm not doing this anymore? You know, was she pregnant? Because there's a lot of speculation she might have been pregnant. But again, that's not been disclosed. That won't be disclosed until the trial. None of the information from the medical examiner has been disclosed. But we will get a few nuggets about the medical examiner. It's a very long report, even though we can't see what's on it. But yeah, she just looks so carefree. Maybe she had decided, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm 13. I'm grown up now. I'm doing what I want to do. We don't know. We'll find out. We will find out. So, poor Maddie. Anyway, that's where we are. Stephan Sterns is behind bars in prison. He's never coming out, even if, you know, from the things that they've got on his phone, that was enough to keep him in prison for the rest of his life. And of course, it is a death penalty state because it's Florida. Sorry, I should have said. But this all happened in Florida, so he could get the death penalty, but it's not been disclosed yet whether they're going for the death penalty in this case. Though we do find out that there is no plea bargaining here. Anyway, you know, I could talk on about this for ages. So, but first of all, I'll just say a hello to everyone, quick hello to everyone, because I can see there's a lot of messages there. Thank you for all being here with me, and thank you to all, especially to my members and anyone who, don't forget to like, put your fingerprint on the like button. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, why aren't you subscribed yet? It's completely free. But a special thanks as well to my members. Membership is €1.99, well, $1.99, whatever your currency is, a month. It's cancelable every time. And every Thursday night, we have a special members live stream. So that'll be tomorrow night if you're watching this when this video comes out. Thursday nights are members live, members only. Hi Maggie. Hi Chumba. Hi Simon. Hi Mello. Hi. I said hi Maggie again then. Hi Charlie. Charlie's talking about what he's had to eat again. Thai prawn red curry with rice. Sounds yummy. Hi DMV. Hi Topaz. Or Topaz. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Okay. Oh, you're all set. Hi David. Hi Mandy. Hi Teresa. Chumba, I'm glad you like the quiz. We're going to have more quizzes. I've got some ideas. So I think, yeah, everybody enjoyed the quiz. The quiz was popular, so we will be having more quizzes, definitely. Okay, and hello to everybody watching at home. I know some people are a bit nervous of joining in the chat. That's fine, no problem. But hello to all you as well. Hope everybody's in a good mood today. You know, which reminds me. So I'm going to light the candle, which I'm going to light especially for Madeleine tonight. I may have to blow it out. I know that sounds awful, but as you can probably hear, I've been talking all day because I've been in classes and I've done some videos. My throat is a bit, do too much talking. Talk too much, that's the problem. Then I was out with friends last night and I was talking all night. So, yeah. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at, which I thought was very, very sweet, is that Madeleine has been... Oh, sorry about the dog. So Madeleine has been memorialised in her middle school yearbook, which I think is really sweet. So 13-year-old Madeline Soto has been memorialised in her middle school yearbook. Orange County Public Schools confirmed that a page of the Hunters Creek Middle School yearbook has been dedicated to the teenager whose body was found in Osceola County on March the 1st. Her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, was officially charged for her murder in end of April. So here she is. You know, whenever we cover these cases, we always feel like we get to know these people, don't we? You know, Madeleine, you feel like, you know, I just feel like I sort of know her. I know I don't know her, but I've seen, you know, spoke about her so much and seen a photo, so many photos. But anyway, the yearbook page includes a photo of Madeleine with the words "Rest in Peace" and a poem written by a 7th grader called Island Shore. And this is a lovely poem. So, you were pretty, you were kind, you were everything I liked. I couldn't be sad around you even if I tried. You were the sun, society is the moon. If you told us, we all would have believed you. I miss you so much, but I feel okay knowing that you're doing fine up above. I'll try not to cry, I'll try not to shed, but I'll always be lucky you were my friend. That's lovely, isn't it? So I just wanted to show you that because I just thought it was really sweet. And then in this actual item, this news item, so it turns out that also because what happened was Madeleine was supposedly dropped off at school by her stepdad. So her mum did not realise until later when she went to pick her up from school that she hadn't been at school all day. So the Orange County Public Schools, they're going to change their absence notification policy in the wake of Madeleine's disappearance. Now, I know that feels like you know, closing the stable door after the horses bolted. But I think it's a good thing. And the thing is, if people don't, you know, children don't turn up for school, the parents should be notified, shouldn't they? They should be notified before the end of the school day, you know, because by the time she went to pick her up later on that afternoon, you know, if in a case, you know, that's a lot of time has passed. Gave Stephan a lot of time to do a lot of things, didn't it? You know, not that it worked for him because he was thick, you know, he thought he was clever, but he wasn't very clever at covering his tracks. That's what makes me think it was probably a heat of the moment thing that he did. I don't believe that it was planned, because he just planned it terribly if it was. Anyway, so details of how Maddie was killed or what happened to have not been released, including her autopsy report, because of the investigation. But as I say, things are going to start coming out now, bit by bit, and little things that we can find out that will help us get an idea of what might come up in the trial. So we're going to look at a couple of those things. And also we're going to listen to what Vinnie Politan says about it, because of course he's got more experience, like in courts, etc. But first of all, I just wanted to explain, I'll just see if I missed anyone. Hi, Desi. Everyone's congratulating Teresa, but I'm not sure what. Oh, because she's having a grandchild. Oh, bless. Okay, so first of all, I just want to explain to you what discovery is. Well, I certainly do. Some of you probably know what it is. But, you know, when under American law, do you know what I've noticed since I've been covering these cases? So secretive in the UK, isn't it? It's like you can't find out information about anything. You know, in the USA, they're much more transparent, you know, when they can be. You know, obviously, when there's an investigation going on, they're not, you know, they don't give information away, and nor should they. But as soon as they can give information, they do. Whereas in the UK, you know, it's almost like you're, you know, accused of snooping if you just try and find out one simple thing, to just try and clear up one thing. You know, it's very strange in the UK, very secretive. It's like Russia. You know, they moan about Russia, but I don't, you know, you honestly trying to find out information about cases to try and bring information to people. It's a nightmare. Anyway, but in America, see, so they have this discovery, which is the phase of a pre-trial procedure. So which each party, in other words, the defense and the prosecution, through the law of civil procedure, can obtain evidence from other parties by means of methods of discovery, such as interrogations, request or production of documents, requests for admissions and depositions, subpoenas. You know, so now the defense is preparing its case. God, imagine defending Stephan Sterns. Oh my God. Well, you know, I'm always saying I could not be a defense lawyer. I could not defend someone like him. I just couldn't. But someone's got to do it, I suppose. That's the law, isn't it? Everyone's innocent till proven guilty. Hi, Heather. But, you know, this is what the defense will be doing, trying to find out what information the prosecution have got, what information the police have got against Stephan, and then they've got to build a case against it. They've got to try and discredit it, if you like, all the information, all the evidence. They've got to try and find a way. I think they'll be struggling in this case, but then they may decide to make a plea bargain, or, you know, they need all that information before they can decide where they're going to go with their case. So we'll see. So that's more or less I had something else explaining what discovery was, but I can't find it. But Vinny explains it quite well. We're going to have a look at part of the video that Vinnie Politan did about it, which I'm sure you won't mind. And I know a lot of you ladies will like watching that video because he's quite popular with the ladies, isn't he? I think it's the eyes. And also, you know, he just comes over as quite a sensible guy, doesn't he? I mean, he might be a right twonk, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so let's just have a look at, before we go to that, let's just have a look at this article. This is another article which just explains a bit about it as well. Now, I find it's very interesting, the things that have even come out so far. Not much has come out so far, but it's quite interesting. So here's what evidence the state has in the Florida teen's death investigation. So we'll have a look at the video, I think. Bless me. Gosh, sorry, that was a big sneeze. Why is it not playing? Come on, why are you not playing?
Death of 13-year-old Maddie Soto. We're getting a better idea of what the trial could look like for the man accused of killing her.
Yeah, a new list of evidence has been made public. And Fox 35's Marie Ettinger has been sifting through this list all day long, and she joins us live right now. So, Marie, what are you finding in there?
John, that new list just released.
Oh, look at this. This must have been where she was found. It does seem very exposed, doesn't it? But all the toys and everything. It's so sweet. Do you know, why does it always, so, you know, when these victims are found and people come and lay things in respect, and it turns out that, you know, it feels like they care more about the person, the victim, than their own family, because, of course, in this case, it is her own family. He is her family. He has been her stepdad, and it's him who's done it to her.
By the state gives us a better view of what might actually come out in this trial. And as this memorial for Madeline Soto grows, so does the anticipation to find out what exactly happened to this little girl. This is a list of the items the state plans to use in the trial. We're talking a terabyte hard drive to copy just some of the discovery over. That's enough space to store 500 hours of HD video or over 6 million pages of documents. The list includes references to guns like firearms trace summaries, even though we still don't know whether a gun was.
Yeah, this is a very interesting thing. So part of this report is they requested information about guns, and so you know, you think, what was she shot then? Because we still don't know how Madeleine, how she died. But it seems funny that they're trying to find out about firearms. You know, is there a gun involved in this?
Was used in this case, or how ultimately Maddie died. Forensic expert Stacy Shepard says the list tells a story.
You have your crime scene, actual on-scene activity, and then your major case investigation steps, and then you can see it progressing as they're getting warrants and asking for certain things.
The list includes reports by 21 different investigators. It references mobile tracking devices on 3 different cars. There's a section about pen registers. Those are devices that record the numbers a phone dials out, and trap and trace devices, which record incoming phone numbers. There are also search warrants and cell phone mapping for 3 different phones. Fox 35 was able to confirm one is Stephan Sterns' phone, and another is the phone for Jen Soto, Maddie's mother.
Typically when there's...
So, yeah, so they are asking for information off Jen's phone, which there will be. Now, we have to remember that Jen Soto, the mum, Madeleine's mum and Stephan Sterns' partner, there have been no charges made against her so far. So we have to remember that. I know a lot of people are quite down on Jen. I personally don't think she was involved in it, apart from being, you know, just daft sort of. But this guy is a manipulator. I don't think you can underestimate. He didn't only manipulate Jen, you know, the whole family Madeline's biological dad, everybody liked him. You know, he wasn't, nobody saw the real him, what he was like. So I don't think we can just blame Jen for that. I don't like this mother blaming, you know, because Madeline's dad was taken in by him as well. Everybody was taken in by him, not just Jen. Now, it may turn out that Jen ends up getting some charges, but when that happens, then I'll think differently about it. But until Jen is actually, you know, charged with something, I don't want to say horrible, because she has lost her daughter.
That much evidence against somebody in this kind of case, they're gonna most likely take a plea.
The state could use this information to seek the death penalty.
We're still in talks about it, still discussions amongst myself and our homicide team and our executive team, seeing what aggravators, if any, we have that we can go on.
Sterns has.
I think he's a definite candidate for the death penalty. You know, so he's going to take a plea somewhere along the line. I think he'd be too, you know, he isn't going to. The thing is, the evidence is so overwhelming, I think, you know, and just the pictures on his phone, etc. So, you know, even besides the murder charge, I just think he's bound to take a plea. You know, there may end up not being a trial. I don't know. But, oh, so here we go. We've got the pre-trial hearing on July the 10th. That's the next time he's in court. If he turns up, you know, he's not known for turning up for court, is he? He's that, you know, he just doesn't turn up. Then the murder trial is on July the 16th. So that's quite quick, really, isn't it? So when you think in the Samantha Murphy case over in Australia, it's August before that case is going to be heard. And that Patrick, he was arrested well before Stephan Sterns was arrested. So, yeah, and so we've got the pre-trial here in July the 10th, the murder trial July the 16th. Quite quick, I think. And then the child sex abuse trial isn't till August the 19th. So there you go. That's the timeline. I should be marking that off on the calendar, really.
The pre-trial conferences for.
Oh, by the way, hi BF and hi Annie. And hi anyone else I've missed.
Both of these trials coming up on July 10th, and then the actual start date for the murder trial for Maddie Soto begins July 16th. He also has a separate trial that'll start up on August 19th. That is for a case involving sexual battery against a minor, as well as various child porn charges. He has 60 counts against him in that one.
I mean, imagine 60 counts against him and a murder trial. He must be on suicide watch, I would imagine, because not that necessarily think he would do anything to himself, because he's a bit too much of a coward for that, isn't he? But you know, he's not going anywhere, is he? Or is he? You know, sometimes though, I think Stephan Sterns, he's the sort of person to be quite happy in prison, because he's a parasite, isn't he? He's a parasite. You know, he's not like a go-getter or whatever. What's he going to miss? You know, he'll obviously miss abusing children, I suppose. And but you know, he likes his PlayStation. He likes his video games. He'll be on. You know, I don't know. Some people, he's because he likes everything done for him. He's a big man baby, so he'll be happy there, sat there getting his meals, you know, playing his video games and, you know, doing whatever. You know, it's harder for some people than others. He'll just be happy to be there, be safe. I presume he's being kept away from the general prison population. He'll be in with the other people that are like him. You know, he couldn't be put in the normal prison population after what he's done. So be interesting to see how this all goes. And we'll be interested to see him in July if we do get to see him. And how is he, you know, some people sort of, when you see them in their trial hearings and that, they don't look like they're finding it that difficult. And then other people do look really ill or they've put on weight, or they've lost a lot of weight, or, you know, it'd be interesting to see how Stephan is coping with prison life.
Live in Osceola County, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
Okay, so these are the new clues. So this is a 5-page document, and the state has responded to the defence's motion for demand of discovery. And this
Also breaking news right now, search is underway at this.
Turn that off. This seeks to see what documents, items, phone records and other elements this state has in its possession before a possible trial. So the 5-page document provides an itemized list of what the state has in its possession. Various statements, logs, incident reports from the deputies, detectives and officers involved in the investigation are included. But other items include affidavits for what appear to be social media accounts, possibly tied to Madeline Soto, including one specifically for Discord and Instagram. And it's so funny when we go to watch Vinny talking about this. He doesn't know anything about Discord. I mean, I don't know much about it. I'm not on Discord, but I have heard of it because I've seen it on social media. But you can tell that Vinny has no clue what it's about. There's also an application for tracking information for 3 vehicles. So a 2012 Honda Civic, a 2010 Lincoln and a 2022 Nissan. So how have they got 3 vehicles? So one of those is probably Stephan's car. I expect the other one is Jen's car, and who knows what the third one is, or if they had 3 cars maybe altogether, don't know. So it also references pen registration, and this tracks outgoing signals from a cell phone, and it's from so arrest warrants, a firearms trace summary. That's what is this firearm thing? And the medical examiner's report. And 2 of the phone numbers that are being requested appear to be connected to Stephan Sterns and Jen Soto, Maddie's mum. Okay, just see if there's anything more in this here. Let's have a look. I'd like to see the actual papers, but I don't know if that's just the same article. So I'd love to see the exact papers. I don't know how I would get hold of them. I did have a look for them online. I couldn't find them, but I will. They may turn up. So there's some interesting things there. Now, I made notes earlier when I was listening to Vinny's video, but we are going to watch a bit of his video anyway. But you know, the whole discovery thing is 1008 pages. 1008 pages. My God, so they've just got loads of evidence, I reckon. Loads and loads of evidence. And of course, they've had time, haven't they, because he was in prison. Once he was off the streets, the police were in no rush to charge Stephan with Madeleine's murder, because they'd already charged him with the other serious charges. He wasn't going anywhere, so they could relax. They could, just find out, all of the information that they needed to. So that's interesting. 1008 pages. My God, it's a lot of pages, isn't it? What have I written there as well? Anyway, so these are the notes that I wrote. But as we go along with Vinny's video, so I'm giving credit to Vinny Politan. Now, quite often I show some videos that he does. I hope he doesn't mind, but it's fair use commentary. And we're going to start. Oh, let me just read off to you the key points that we're going to go through. So the first one it's tire tread. There's some things about tire tread, so I reckon that maybe comes down to where they found Madeleine's body. Did they find the tire treads of Stephan's car? And there's something about prints, major case prints, but even Vinny wasn't really sure what that meant. Does that mean they've got fingerprints somewhere, you know, in the crime scene or on the body or whatever? So applications for mobile tracking for 3 cars, those 3 cars that we mentioned earlier. Electronic incident repairs, firearms trace summary, search warrants for the home. So they've searched the home, which seems obvious, I suppose. Discord and Instagram, you know, these applications to look on, but we don't know if it's Stephan's Discord and Instagram or is it Madeleine's, or maybe both of them, and maybe Jenna's got, you know, we don't know. Because all we've had so far is the skeleton, if you like, of the discovery request. We don't know the ins and outs yet. Now, they have asked for the medical report. The medical report is 42 pages long, but the medical examiner's report is not available to the public. Also, of course, the photos and videos that were on the phone, they are not available to anyone except by request. Nobody's allowed to be sent them. If somebody wants to view them, like the defense will want to view them, they'll have to view them because, you know, to see what they're up against. But they can't request them to be sent to them because, of course, they're illegal. So they cannot be sent anywhere. So they're there at the courthouse or at the police station on record. So anybody who wants to see those, I expect nobody wants to see them, but, you know, they have to see them. They have to apply to go and see them, actually go to the place where they're being stored. They cannot be transferred anywhere else. And I was thinking, how is that going to work with the jury? You know, will they have to show them in the courtroom? You know, when it comes to the actual trial, that'd be awful, wouldn't it? If Madeleine's family is sat in there, her father, you know, will they see those things, the jury? Surely they'll have to, otherwise how could they make a verdict? It's horrible. It's just so horrible. Yeah, apparently there are 400 pages of cell phone mapping that have been solicited. And, oh yeah, something else that Vinny's going to talk about, which is awful. So they've been requested Maddie's medical records. So Maddie, poor Maddie, 13 years old. So she's been under a psychologist, and you know, so they've requested the records to see what her problems were. Well, now we know what her problems were, don't we? Because of Stephan. But there was a lot of talk about her having ADHD and this, that, and the other. But did she though? You know, or was it just the way she was reacting to what was going on? Yeah. So anyway, let's have a listen to Vinny now. Have a look what Vinny's got to say about it all.
Then there's some information, I think, that leads to some of the evidence could potentially be. The first one that strikes me here that I'm looking at is, where is it? A property form for a tire tread and scene photos. Okay. Tire tread and scene photos. So the scene photos, my guess likely would be the ones relative to where Maddie was found, right? And
So yeah, tire tread and scene photos. That seems, doesn't it? I mean, he'd know as well as anybody, but does seem that were Stephan's tires, impressions of Stephan's tires found at the scene, because that'd be a much better, you know, that's a much more concrete, because he was seen around, didn't he have wasn't he seen changing his tire? He was, so there are witnesses that saw him around, but you know, juries are always more likely to believe hard evidence like tire tracks and things like that than they are like witnesses, because witnesses can be really unreliable, of course, you know. So that's a good thing. I mean, the evidence is so overwhelming. I just can't believe there won't be some sort of plea bargain in this case.
A tire tread. Now, is that some sort of like, there's a molding that's done of a tire tread that's left behind, and they're going to try to match it to the tires on the car? This would be fascinating evidence. Obviously, it's not DNA, but it's good. It's good. It's good. So will they be able to take whatever sort of tire tread evidence that they obtained at the scene and match it to the vehicle driven by SS? Will they be able to do that? That's important evidence, because that will put him through forensic evidence, which we know jurors love, right? It's not an eyewitness. It's like forensic evidence. If they can match a tire tread found at the scene to the defendant SS, that'll put him there. That puts him at the place where Maddie is found. Someone's saying, why don't I find you on YouTube? Who's not finding me?
Just fast forward a bit, because there's a little bit of a thing, somebody trying to find him on YouTube. He's so easy to find on YouTube. You just put in Vinny Polito news. Anyway.
Maddie is recovered. Now, eyewitness testimony is great, but it can be attacked, right? Did you really see it? What color was the car, etc.? What time was it? Blah, blah, blah. You now match a tire tread there as well, and you can match that to the car being consistent with the car. You know, it won't be DNA. It won't be 1 in 7 billion or 700 billion, but it will be extremely compelling in the courtroom. Now, if that tire tread doesn't match, now you got a problem. Now you've got a piece of evidence that the defense can use. But we'll see. It doesn't say if it matches or doesn't match. It's just saying it's being provided. So whatever.
Yeah, so far, because we've only got the bare bones of it, the skeleton of it, we only know that these things have been requested. We don't know if it did match his tire or not, but it's all been, you know, basically what we do know so far is that these things have been requested. So we haven't got the full story yet.
Tire tread that was recovered, and I believe it was recovered at the scene because it's listed under the same property form where they have photos of the scene. So I'm presuming that it could be scene photos, it could be a tire tread photo, it could be a piece of a tire tread. It's not clear, but it's a property form, so it's some form of property that they have. So the photos, obviously, my guess is this is an electronic transmission, so it would be a photo of something. But what is it a photo of? Like, what is being electronically transmitted? That is this tire tread. Is it a piece of the tire tread that they've recovered? Is it the track that is left behind? Is it a picture of a mold? Not clear. But tire tread evidence, you know, we heard all about tire tread evidence from the defense during the Murdoch case. And obviously they didn't do that type of investigation. It wasn't necessary. It didn't lead to anything. But here, because of where it's found, and those of you who have seen the recovery site, there's two spots. There's one spot across the street where I believe the car was spotted, but there's could be another spot closer to where Maddie was found, where there was a gate that was unlocked that day. So was there some sort of tread or something left behind?
Yeah, we don't know all the details, do we, of the his car journey? You know, obviously the police have did reveal in one of their press conferences that they had caught him on CCTV, and they felt that Madeleine was in the car and she was already deceased. But, you know, we haven't seen any CCTV or had it confirmed exactly what they've got. But these are things that will have to come out, you know, as it comes up to the trial, you know, so the defense can deal with them. Once the defense sort of asks for things, they do become in the public domain. Something else I just wanted to say is, while I was watching this video earlier, you know, in Vinny's chat, there was a lot of people talking about Sebastian Rogers, obviously, because that's another big case, isn't it? It's going on, and everyone is very sad because people are just being turned off by the Sebastian Rogers case, which is, you know, a very important case. A 15-year-old boy gone missing, but because of all the antics of all the adults concerned in this case and all the bloody PIs and the total circus there it is, and there were a lot of people in Vinny's chat about Madeleine saying that they were not going to follow this, which is awful, really, because Sebastian still needs to be out there and talked about, but, you know, not all the bloody mudslinging and everything that's going on, like the proper, you know, some proper things about Sebastian. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because, you know, that's what I've been thinking. You almost don't want to cover it, and it's not that I don't want to cover it. I want Sebastian to be found, so of course I do. But, you know, just sometimes it just does your head in.
And there could be very, very, very interesting in this case. Okay, Melly has put the YouTube link up. Thank you, Melly. All right, what else do we have here? Okay. Another property form for some major case prints. Major case prints. Not sure on that one.
Yeah, so even Vinny wasn't sure what the major case prints were. Now, I think Vinny was a prosecutor, wasn't he, back in the day? So, of course, but I don't know how long ago he was a prosecutor. I'm going to find out in a minute. Now, I just wanted to tell you, I've got my ticker going along the bottom because he's got his ticker going along the bottom. So I'm just sort of trying to cover that all because, you know, maybe I should. I don't know if I should do that. I don't know what to do. I don't normally leave mine on all the way through the video, but he does. So, you know, most YouTubers do, to be fair. But anyway, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to leave it up for a bit longer.
The fingerprint impressions that were taken somewhere? I don't know. I'm not sure. I say one thing that's very evident when you start going through this, you see how many investigators and people they spoke to that exist here. It was a pretty big investigation. All right, what else do we have here? Now, this is where it gets very interesting. They made applications for mobile tracking devices for a 2012 Honda Civic, a 2010 Lincoln, and a 2022 Nissan. Okay. So as they're doing this investigation.
So that's the cars that is, they're looking at, like we mentioned earlier. So I just had a little look at Vinny's. So apparently he's an Emmy Award-winning legal journalist who anchored the original. He's Court TV, not News Nation. Sorry, they're my two sort of go-to channels. Sorry, Vinny, it's not News Nation, Court TV. So he's a lawyer and a former prosecutor. He's been covering the world of crime and justice for over 20 years and also hosting legal and news programs. And sorry to let you know, ladies, he is married. He's 59 years old and he got married in 2002 and he has 5 children. So just to let you know a little bit about Vinny.
They go to a judge and make application to put a mobile tracking device on 3 cars. And I guess they did it. So wherever these cars are going, they're able to track their movements. Now, all this is taking, there's no date on this necessarily, but if they're tracking the cars after the fact, I guess tracking movements to see where people go, how much interaction do they have. You know, sometimes people return to the scene, like Scott Peterson. But right away, you can see that obviously everyone is under suspicion and they have enough evidence to get the application for this tracking or these tracking devices on 3 different cars: a 2012 Honda Civic, 2010 Lincoln, 2022 Nissan.
Yeah, so they've got because of course there's that time when Madeleine was missing. That's, you know, they'll want the information of where those cars were during that time. So where were those cars coming and going from the Monday? Not only, you know, they'll want to know where Stephan's car, what it was doing on the Sunday night, and Jen's, of course. They'll want to know what those cars were doing and where they were going, etc. Until Madeleine was found. And maybe even beyond that, you know, until he was arrested, until he was taken off the streets. They'll want to know what his car was doing. And they may even want to know what Jen's car was doing after Stephan was arrested. You know, they said, gosh, you know, people, you can't get away with much these days, can you? You know, when people commit crimes, there's so much that the police, so they'll be tracking that car with, I suppose, you know, a CCTV, digital, I don't know how they'll track it, but they've got the permission to do it. And then that'll all come out in court where they went. You know, did Jen go to meet Stephan? Or is Jen completely innocent? And did she, because I do feel that Jen, she turned up to collect her from school. And I do feel she was genuinely shocked when she wasn't there. I don't think she knew where Madeleine was. And when she said she saw Madeleine in the morning, I think she was sort of talked into that by Stephan. Maybe even him saying to her, because she's supposed to be on a lot of medication, oh, don't you remember you saw her? Or it could have been him saying, oh, you know, they'll suspect me if you don't say you saw her. You know, so all that's to come out.
So they're tracking the cars. They're tracking the cars. And I'm trying to see which, who is making that. It's not clear. Like, I don't have the actual application, right? The actual application is going to have a lot more information. It's going to have likely an app.
Yeah, DMV's trying to look cool, isn't he, with his shirt unbuttoned and show his cross. I think he's trying to show his cross as well, but I don't know. But there's something about him, and his suit's blue. It goes with his eyes. He's got nice eyes. There is definitely something about him.
Affidavit, and this one I believe does have an affidavit. Now, there's a series of affidavits that are also listed here that, again, have been provided to the defense, which I would suspect would become provided to the public at some point down in the state of Florida. So I'm thinking any day at this point. Let's see.
Oh my God, DMV's got a complete fan club on there. If you watch him and they're sending him super chats, they're like saying when he was going off on local, oh, well, I'll come and meet you there. What can we meet for coffee? And he has he's got his little fan club or big fan club. He's got a big fan club, but he is good at what he does as well. So yeah, he's nice. And I do like a man in a shirt. I don't like all this casual dressing these days. I like to see men in a shirt.
They've got reports, electronic incident report. So electronic incident reports. Okay, so they're taking a look at electronics. Reports have been done as a result of whatever analysis they're doing on the electronics. You expect that. We kind of suspected that would happen. Firearms trace summary. Why are they doing a firearms trace summary?
Yeah, no, he's surprised. And I must admit, this is the bit that made me think the most. Firearms trace summary. What have firearms got to do with it? So it makes you wonder, did he shoot her? Did he shoot her? Did it obviously we don't know, but he must have had a gun then. But of course, not uncommon, is it, for Americans to have guns? So not necessarily that he had a gun because he was planning to kill her. He may have just had a gun and then it happened to be there. But yeah, look at Vinny's face, even he's like, what? Because that sort of has come a bit out of the blue. I don't think but of course, we didn't know how he killed her. We just know that he's been charged with killing her, but we've had no information about cause of death at all. So it could be a gun, couldn't it?
Was she shot? Is that possible? Is that possible?
Well, I suppose anything's possible.
Firearms trace summary. Now, what?
But I think he's, the surprise, because I think it never even occurred to me that he might have shot her. I suppose I was thinking, he might have suffocated her or strangled her or whatever. Until this now, it's suddenly I'm thinking, oh God, did he shoot her then? Well, we find out, won't we? We'll find out. I mean, eventually we will find out the cause of death. Just we can't at the moment.
But I assume a firearms trace summary would be you've got some firearm of interest and you want to trace its history. Firearms. Again, right? The medical examiner report's not been made public, so we don't know cause and manner. We just don't. But they're tracing firearms here. By the way, I'm reading this with you for the first time. I printed it out. I had some other work to do. Then I went live. So we're going through this together. All right. Yeah, you can watch it on Facebook also. We're streaming Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on X. I see all the comments. All right. There's Orange County Sheriff's property form, evidence, property report, property report. Okay. Application for mobile tracking device authorization on the Honda Civic. Order authorizing the installation. Okay. So it was installed on the Honda Civic. It was installed on the Lincoln and on the Nissan. So they made the application and it was approved. So they had probable cause to track the vehicles, 3 of them, 2012 Honda Civic, 2010 Lincoln, 2022 Nissan. All right.
Do like the way he says that, Nissan. At first I was thinking, oh, what's a Nissan? And then I clicked, it's a Nissan. Oh, a Nissan. It sounds better when he says it.
Let's see. Search warrants of the home. That's taking place. That's obvious. We expected that, right? You're going to do a search of the home. So, they're going through the home. We knew that they had gone through the home as well.
Yeah, because I think those photos and videos, they were in the home, weren't they? You know, so they will have definitely forensically tested that whole house, that whole apartment. I'm sure they will have done that. Anyway, he's just confirming there.
Okay. I'm wondering what this is. Search warrant, Discord Inc. Discord Inc. Let me see if I can Google that and see what is Discord Inc. Is that
it's so funny this, because you can tell he's never heard of Discord. So it's like, what's Discord, you know? But and this is interesting because if they've got to look on it, is that going to be, as I was saying earlier, is that going to be Madeleine's Discord? Because you think of Discord as more for younger people, but you know, then Stephan thought he was a teenager anyway, so maybe it's Stephan's Discord.
some sort of website? Yeah, it's a communication platform. Okay. So there's a search of Discord Inc. Okay. Discord Inc. is a company that offers communication platform for voice, video, and text. The platform allows users to hang out with friends and communities. Discord was founded in 2015. Okay. What does Discord Inc. do? Yeah, it looks like looks like a social media site. Discord. It's an instant messaging service. So who is using Discord? I've never, unless it's the, you know, is it the parent company of another one? But I don't know. Instant.
Yeah, because Vinny doesn't know about Discord because, you know, he's not interested in going on looking for young people on these platforms or whatever. He's too busy working, doing his thing and whatever. Discord, because you know, I mean, you can get lost down these tunnels of social media things. You know, where do you stop? You know, if you've got a YouTube, then you've got Twitter or X, Facebook. If you had Discord, and you've got maybe Twitch, or there's so many different platforms. Honest to God, how do people must just be on there 24 hours a day. You know, sometimes I just can't get off the computer with what I do. You know, I feel like I'm just stuck on the computer, and I'm trying to sort of cut down on it because it's not healthy to be on the computer that much. It really isn't.
Messaging, social platform. Communication can be private or take place in virtual communities called servers.
And then this Telegram, and of course Stephan Sterns was supposed to be on Telegram. That's a really dodgy platform, apparently. You know, there's all these different platforms. Only someone like Stephan, who wasn't really working properly, would have the time, you know, to spend on millions of different platforms like that. You know, even just one platform, YouTube, could take up all your time. There's always something to watch, and then you go on, you have a look on the Facebook. God, how do people keep up with all these different things? Oh, let me just I didn't press play. Hang on.
So they have chat rooms, Discord, 150 monthly users. So it's big, but not enormous. It's primarily used by gamers. Okay. So Discord, is that a gaming site that maybe Maddie was on, right? It's possible that it has something to do with Maddie, right? You're searching for Maddie, a missing child. If she is on this gamer site or uses this app, you're going to want to find out who she's talking to. So that's very possible. Again, firearms trace summary. I see that again.
Oh, and then of course there's TikTok and there's Instagram. I mean, my God, you honestly, you just can't keep up with all these platforms. And so we need to, you can just see how difficult it is for the police, because, they've got to look into all these platforms. And then for gamers like Stephan Sterns and maybe Madeline liked Xbox or whatever, then this platform's on them as well. So, oh my God, it's hard work. It's hard work at getting to the bottom of everything.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, they do a search warrant for the Lincoln MKZ. Okay, here's one that let's figure out what this is. Application requesting the installation and use of pen registration and trap and trace device and disclosure of stored electronic communications and transactional records. They got an order authorizing it. Okay. It looks like a couple other things going on here. It's more digital evidence that they're looking for, and you've got to get these warrants. You get them as quickly as possible to get, because remember, it began as a missing person, so everything is sort of, and a lot of these things are exigent, emergency applications that are being done, and most of those are usually if someone is missing, right? Someone is missing, it's exigent. Your Honor, we need this right away because we've got a missing child. We want to take a look at X, Y, and Z, and we're going to need a warrant to do it because many of these companies will not voluntarily give it to police. They require some form of a warrant signed by.
Yeah, because don't forget, she was missing for a few days, not too long, but there was a few. So when someone's missing, it's difficult sometimes to immediately get this information because she could have just, turned up 2 days later or whatever. Though I haven't said that, she was a child. So I don't know if that, so they've gone, he was explaining there, they've gone for these emergency applications, when she was missing, there was an Amber Alert out for her. And they've gone for the emergency applications because they're trying to, trace everything. But, anyway, sadly, of course, all that time she was in that woodland. Those few, well, I say all that time, the few days that she was there before she was found. She wasn't very well hidden. I wonder if they found her. Did they find her? Didn't somebody not see Stephan Sterns in that area, and that's how they found her, I think.
By a judge to provide this information, even if you're looking for a missing child, they have certain standards. So I think that's what's going on here. With Madeline Soto, she apparently, from this, was under some care regarding behavioral health and psychiatric associates. So she was getting some help.
Now, this made me so angry. So because she was under psychiatric care or some sort of, because probably her behavior was being examined. But that's how these unfortunately quite often happens, isn't it? Children that are abused, and then it comes out in their behavior, they act out, and then it's them that end up getting the. Oh, it's just so sad to think that Madeleine didn't think that she could tell somebody, anybody. She couldn't tell her dad. Why didn't she tell her dad? She couldn't tell her dad. She couldn't tell her mum. She couldn't tell her grandma. She had a big extended family. She had her auntie, and there was nobody that she felt she could tell. It's very sad, that, I think.
So I guess they attempted to get some information there as well. So whatever information they got from a treating physician for Maddie, you know, what is this treating physician going to give up? What sort of information? The ME report is referenced here, and it is 42 pages. 42 pages. Don't expect to see those or hear about that until something happens in court. Okay, what else do we have here? KIPD electronic report transmittal form. Is that the Kissimmee Police Department? All right. There's a bunch of information like the arrest warrant. Again, arrest warrant has affidavits associated with it. That's where you're going to get the information. That information is not in what's been made public yet. I'm looking for things. Again, another firearms trace summary. It's just a one-pager. They're all one-pagers. Let's see. This is interesting. Cell phone mapping. So they picked out 3 cell phone numbers and some cell phone mapping, and this is very involved.
Yeah, so 3 cell phone numbers. So you can bet that one of those was Stephan's. The other one, another one will probably have been Jen's, and was the third one Maddie's cell phone. Of course, Stephan was caught on CCTV disposing of her cell phone, wasn't he? Along with her computer and everything. Wasn't that one of the things he was putting in the bin?
It's it looks like it's more than 400 pages of cell phone mapping. So this is huge, right? The cell phone mapping, incredibly important investigatory source and resource, a big part of this investigation. Let me see what else. Now there's some media, some digital media that they could come down, has been also sent. Medical examiner photos, you're not going to see those. Orange County forensic photos, I suspect you would see those. Orange County forensic photos, again. A 1 TB hard drive. Okay. Now, this is what I've been saying all along, right? The state attorney's office. The following media is available to view by appointment at the state attorney's office. Digital media containing the defendant's cell phone download and the search warrant return of defendant's Google account. The evidence is to be viewed by appointment only at the office of the state attorney, as it contains you know what it contains. Images that you cannot transmit, images that you cannot copy, images that are illegal to possess, obviously illegal to take, all of these images involving a child. So like I've been saying from the beginning, when you have that type of material, we'll see how they handle it inside a courtroom as you try to prove a case.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, isn't it, from the beginning? How do you prove a case if you can't show? Well, you wouldn't want to see it anyway. I would. Years ago, when I did jury service, I didn't do this particular case, luckily, but there was a case of a child abuser, a baby. The baby was abused, and I remember one of the jurors just came running out of the court, sobbing, crying, and she just couldn't continue. They had to replace her with a different juror because the evidence that she was being shown about how this baby was being abused it just totally flipped her out. So how are they going to show this? But then it is important to the case. I mean, could he just plead guilty? Well, I wish he would just plead guilty to everything, and then they don't have to go through a court case.
How will the jury be able to see this? You know, that's because so many of these cases, because they're open and shut when it comes to these types of images, rarely go to trial. There's no defense. So the defense, if they want to see it, they've got to go visit the state attorney's office. My guess is that the defendant does not get to do that. He does not get another peek at all those images from his phone. All right. So that's my.
Oh, look, you can tell he's angry there. Yeah, because so you imagine. So if the defense are allowed to see it, hope he's not allowed to see it again. Do you know, like, because he'd love that, wouldn't he, being able to see it one last time or whatever. Oh my God, that horrible, horrible, horrible man. It's just, you just, just speechless.
First run through of this. So let's just review on some of the things. Tire tread, scene photos, mobile tracking devices on the 3 cars, firearms trace summary, treating physician, psychiatrist for Maddie, cell phone mapping. So those are the highlights that you can take away from the state's response for the demand for discovery. So all of this has been provided already in the case. It was provided electronically last week, which means.
So there you go. So that's the main bulk of everything, isn't it? And, more will come out as time goes on. And you sort of, you want, I want things to come out because I want to find out, obviously, what happened to, let me take that banner off now. I want to to know what happened to Maddie, you want to know, but there's another part of you doesn't want to know because it's not going to be nice, is it? Whatever. But basically, really, what everybody wants is just to know that he is just, never coming out of prison, or even maybe getting the death penalty. Though I don't agree with the death penalty. I can't agree with it, I'm afraid. But even as much as I hate him, I can't go with the death penalty. But I don't think he'll get the death penalty because I think some plea will come out of this. There will definitely be a plea. He's got to, because there's so much evidence against him. How's he going to, he must know, surely his defense team is going to say to him, look, you've got no chance of getting off with this. So unless he throws Jen under the bus and decides that he's going to try and blame it on Jen. What have the conversations been so far with him and his defense lawyers? What is it that he just said, Vinny? There is no defense. Quite often in these sort of cases, where there's like video evidence, photo evidence, why, surely he's not going to try and, surely nobody's going to find him not guilty unless he thinks he can try and make it look as if Jen did it. Maybe, or if he's going to say that Jen did it, but I can't see that either. I wonder if this might never even come to a trial, really, because I wonder if once all the evidence is, presented, his defense team are just going to say, look, there's no point in you even trying to defend this because it's, I think that's why the police have taken so long. Once they had him in prison, they had all that time to get their case together. I just think wondering, is it going to come even to a trial? And he ain't going to want to sit in a courtroom day in, day out. He's a coward. He isn't going to want to sit there day in, day out. So, you know, will it even come to a trial? I can't imagine him going to a trial and sitting there and, you know, in front of everyone. He's too much of a coward. So he'll do whatever he can to avoid ever after going into a courtroom, I think. Anyway. Okay, so that's it. So that's what I wanted to show you. Now, if you're members, tomorrow night is the members live. We're going to be talking Nicola Bulley tomorrow night. Some things that have come out, some interesting things. Is the investigation going to get reopened, possibly? Or if not the investigation, are the police, now that Andrew Snowman's gone, the new police commissioner, is he going to be a bit more open? They've got a new chief constable as well, haven't they? And well, everybody's new because everybody's left who was involved with the Nicola Bulley case. So, you know, are we going to see a bit more transparency? You know, a lot of people don't feel the resolution in that case. Anyway, a few things have come out, and then all this, you know, I'm not really going to go into the Peter Folding rubbish because that's all still going on. You know, he's not talking about it at all now. He's decided he's not talking about it. Even some of his fanboys and girls are annoyed with him. Or are they though? Because, you know, with that, I just don't know what's real and what isn't real. It's just, you know, it's just a mess. But some things that we know are real is like, you know, the things that you can ask for from the Freedom of Information Act. Apparently that some things have come through to people. So we're going to talk about that and see if we can, you know, find out any more. I mean, that's like a, you know, Nicola Bulley case, if you like. There's not supposedly a case now, is it? Because it's supposed to be accidental death and that's it. We're all supposed to accept it. But people aren't accepting it, are they? But we're going to talk about that tomorrow. If anything comes up about Sebastian or Samantha, the body's still not been found. Very quiet now, isn't it, about Samantha Murphy? The police, as far as I know, aren't doing any searches unless they're doing them secretly. You know, I still check for news every day of Samantha Murphy, don't get any news. And then Anna Knežević, of course, her husband's been denied bail. So as his trial approaches, I'm sure similar information will come out about that. And, you know, if anything comes up to, you know, what the members live is like, we'll talk about whatever's relevant at the time. So I will see you very soon. So remember to live and love wisely and carefully. Take care. Look after you, because you are the most important person. We all need to look after ourselves a bit better, don't we? And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Night, night.